Good day to all of us. I am Wenderos J. Benaventura. Me and my groupmates are going to discuss to you the Asian regionalism. I will discuss the Asia Pacific and South Asia and the world. The topic deals on the relationship between process and place between globalization and Asia Pacific and South Asia. How globalization influenced Asia or how Asia influenced other countries as a process of globalization. The term Asia itself comes from the ancient Greek who categorized the world into three continents: Europe, Africa, and Asia. In this sense, Asia is a region was initially defined externally rather than from within. The exact boundaries of Asia have been a matter of contention since its inception, and demarcation has often been made along cultural or political lines, rather than according to any clear geographical rationale. The Asia Pacific and South Asia refer together to the regions of East or Northeast Asia, Southeast Asia, the Pacific Islands, and South Asia. In addition to differences in language and culture, the variation among states and people in this region is vast. It also includes some of the world's most economically developed states such as Japan, South Korea, Singapore, and Taiwan, and highly impoverished countries such as Cambodia, Laos, and Nepal. It includes the largest and most populous states on the globe, including China and India, and some of the world's smallest, such as Maldives and Bhutan. The countries in the region also vary widely according to geography, political systems, historical experience, and broad demographic characteristics. Lumped together, the area makes up nearly a third of the world's landmass and two-thirds of the globe population. The combined economies of the region now generate the largest share of global GDP at 35%, compared with Europe and North America. Despite this economic growth, there are still millions of people affected by poverty, hunger, HIV or AIDS, gender inequality, and other socio-economic problems in the region. For all these reasons, global powers outside the region are focused intently on the Asia-Pacific and South Asia. The United States has implemented a foreign policy shift dubbed the Pacific Pivot, committing more resources and attention to the region. In a widely read articles in Foreign Affairs, U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton called this the shift from the Atlantic century to the Pacific century.
An externalist view of globalization. The Asian region has been influenced by social relations from other countries. Regionalism and regionalization. Region. It is a group of countries in the same geographically specified area, Southeast Asia. Regionalization is the societal integration and the often directed process of social-economic interaction. Regionalism, which is the formal process of intergovernmental collaboration between two or more states. ASEAN, it is the set of conscious activities carried out by states within a region to cooperate, while regionalization is less conscious process, which is the outcome of these state policies. Globalization, liberalization, and global integration of markets. It is inevitable and irreversible. It is nobody in charge of globalization, and globalization benefits everyone in the long run. And here's the sample of Asian map. The major regions of Asia are North Asia, Southeast Asia, East Asia, Central Asia, and Southwest Asia, also known as the Middle East. Globalization, the rapid expansion and intensification of social relations across world and space-time. Core claims, the regulation of markets, liberation of facts, and privatization of state-owned enterprises. The region's strength: Asia Pacific and Southeast Asia, Northeast Asia, Sea Pacific Island, Southeast Asia. Diversity: the most progressive country, South Korea, Japan, Singapore. Most poor country, Cambodia, Laos, Nepal. Most populated country, China and India. World's smallest, Bhutan and Maldives. An externalist view of globalization. The Asian region has been influenced by social relations from other countries. Regionalism and regionalization. Region. It is a group of countries in the same geographically specified area, Southeast Asia. Regionalization is the societal integration and the open directed process of social-economic interaction. Regionalism, which is the formal process of intergovernmental collaboration between two or more states. ASEAN, it is the set of conscious activities carried out by states within a region to cooperate, while regionalization is less conscious process, which is the outcome of these state policies. Globalization, liberalization, and global integration of markets. It is inevitable and irreversible. It is nobody in charge of globalization. And globalization benefits everyone in the long run. The major regions of Asia are North Asia, Southeast Asia, East Asia, Central Asia, and Southwest Asia, also known as the Middle East. Globalization, the rapid expansion and intensification of social relations across world and space-time. Core claims, the regulation of markets, liberation of facts, and privatization of state-owned enterprises. The region's strength: Asia Pacific and Southeast Asia, Northeast Asia, Asia Pacific Island, Southeast Asia. Diversity: the most progressive country, South Korea, Japan, Singapore. Most poor country, Cambodia, Laos, Nepal. Most populated country, China and India. World's smallest, Bhutan and Maldives.
Module 7.3 Externalist View. An externalist view refers to the colonial rules and dominance of Western countries to ASEAN countries. It also describes the different experiences of these countries like war, financial crisis, cultural homogenizations, and the destructions of their culture diversity, and many other experiences of ASEAN countries as they connect to the world. The region has an object impacted by globalization. First one is colonial rules and dominance. According to the view, this view, technologically and industrially more advanced Western powers found their way to influence the regions and alternatively subtly impose their way to political economic dominance. Number 2. World War II. This was mark another way in which the region comes to be at once integrated and influenced by external forces. Number 3. Adoptions of export-oriented growth. Japan, Korea, and Taiwan, 1980s and 1990s, that Japan and other East Asian sites, including Korea and Taiwan, were able to adopt their economic policies in line with what they understood as an increasing globalized economic system and benefited from export-oriented growth policies in the 1980s and 1990s. Number 4. Asian financial crisis, root case, poor policies, weak government, corruption, for institution. Number 5. Member to WTO. While there are significant differences in their approach to liberalizations, both countries have experienced high level of economic growth as a result and have also become much more integrated into the global economy, including membership in the World Trade Organization or WTO. Number 6. Liberalization of economy, rise of China, Deng Xiaoping's 1970s economic reform, high liberalizations of the economy. experience high level of growth and become more integrated into the global economy.
Effects on politics. Today, in the international scenario, the confrontation between two global giants, the United States and China, is escalating in terms of advancement of trade and technology and hegemony in international politics. The possibility of occurrence of a Sino-US economic war or the new Cold War indicates not only the escalation of this confrontation, but also a symptom of transformation of the international order as a result of the change in power balance and rise of a challenger to the existing United States led international liberal order. These confrontational and uncertain circumstances in the world and in the East Asia Pacific region are attracting the attention of IR specialists focusing on the region. Diverse evaluations have been performed on the significant impact of Asian regionalism. Realists originally tend to provide a limited evaluation of the role of international institutions as autonomous actors and believe them to be simply acting out the power relationship. Further, the predictions of some scholars on Asian regionalism in the current unclear situation, which exhibits escalating power rivalry, are pessimistic. Era of new regionalism in Asia. During the Cold War era, a few regional institutions at the governmental level were active in Asia. The Economic Commission for Asia and the Far East, which was the first regional institution established in Asia in 1947, reflected the development of the Pan-Asian regionalism. However, it lost its initial influence following the mid-1960s, which marked the establishment of the Asian Development Bank or ADB. Although the ADB has been functioning as a regional international bank and promoting economic and social development in Asia, its area of responsibility has been limited to the provision of financial support for the economic and social development of Asian countries. Later, the ASEAN was established 1967. Initially, it contributed to the development of the institutional core of Asian regionalism. However, later the expectations among political and economic regional powers elites regarding the regional institution declined and the ASEAN activities were limited to maintaining its image as the political symbol of unity among like-minded Southeast Asian countries.
In culture and globalization in the region, Asia has been the source of wide variety of cultural phenomena that have spread outward to the Western countries and the rest of the world. In 2016, Pokemon Go spread all over the world. This is made from Japan. With over 232 million players worldwide in just a few months after its release, Pokemon Go revenue in the first month broke records at $207 million. It was also the most downloaded, top most international charts and grossed $100 million in mere 20 days. Another thing is their anime. The Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, Detective Conan, Slam Dunk, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Are just some of the popular examples. This multi-dollar industry has certainly influenced modern cartoons in different countries. Avatar: The Last Airbender is actually developed by American animators. It has references to Asian schools of thought and facial drawing and body movement. Animes also attracts many fans to Japan. It caused people from all over the world to decide to learn Japanese, leading to the creation of the JLPT or Japanese Language Proficiency Test. Another cultural phenomena is what they call Hallyu or the Korean Wave. It is the idea that South Korean pop culture has grown in prominence to become a major driver of global culture. Seen in everything from Korean dramas on Netflix to Korean skincare regimens dominating the cosmetic industry to delicious Korean dish on your favorite local menu. And at the heart of Hallyu is the ever-growing popularity of K-pop, short for Korean pop music. BTS, the most successful Korean boy band that conquered music scene, started on 2013. They gained worldwide recognition in 2018, started from Asia, then Africa, Latin America to North America. BTS became the first K-pop artist to present Grammy Award in 2019. And in 2020, their single Dynamite became the first K-pop song in history to debut at number 1 on the US Billboard Hot 100 chart. Could be said that this cultural phenomena was great for promoting tourism for Japan and South Korea, as well as influencing a lot of pop culture that we see today.
Hello everyone, my name is Mark S. Alejo and I will discuss you now the general globalization as Asia as a springboard. So number 1 natin dyan is spring trade. Many scholars now argue that for much of early modern history, Asia led the global economy, only falling behind from 18th century. Number 2 is Asia modern world economy. Asia modern world economy is in modern era. It was the site of the world's most important trade routes and in some places is more than technology advanced than the West key areas such as science and medicine. Colonialism defined as control by one power over the department area or people. It occurs when one nation subjugates another, conquering its population and exploiting it, often while forcing its own language and cultural values upon its people. Procurement is the process of finding and agreeing to terms. Japan lacks many raw materials needed for industries such as oil, coal, iron ore, copper, aluminum, and wood.
Rise of China
Is one of the largest importers of basic raw materials. China has also had enormous impacts on the ability and consumption of goods around the globe. India is often mentioned in some read in China as China for its scale and impact on globalization. International migrant labor, India and China. It includes the migrant of highly skilled labor into the high-tech industries based in Silicon Valley, which include as disproportionate number migrant from India and China. Remittance from migrants have also because of a core source of module from many of the region's economies. Rise of regional free trade agreement. Another broad trade in the Asia Pacific and South Asia is the rise of regional free trade agreement over regionalism, which aim to develop the maintain cooperation with outside actors. North America and Europe is the two countries that held by the regionalism. Asia product in global market. Western culture has come to dominate form of music, entertainment, and culture more broadly around the globe and the Asia Pacific and Southeast Asia in particular.
So the 1930s were a decade of fear in Japan, characterized by the resurgence of right-wing patriotism, the weakening of democratic forces, domestic terrorist violence, and step-up military aggression abroad. And also the 1930s, ultra-nationalist groups took control of Japan, restricted freedoms, and renewed drives to expand. The concept first emerged in the 1990s when the West was enjoying an unprecedented level of confidence in the political and economic spheres. According to Michael Barr, an associate professor of international relations of Flinders University, in a paper published, Asian Values has been used by leaders across the region for decades, was becoming increasingly irrelevant, with the political observers describing it as a convenient tool for governments to brush off issues they were reluctant to discuss. Regional arrangement is understood as institutional, arrangements formally created by three or more states for the purposes of pursuing common objectives through either legal or political agreements based on some form of geographical space. Asia should develop its own model of regional financial cooperation. Obstacles to achieving this include great power rivalries between Japan and the People's Republic of China, and lingering concerns about United States opposition to increase Asian autonomy. Absorbing these lessons and designing more effective financial crisis prevention and response mechanisms will be the main task for Asian policymakers ahead as concerns mount about the sustainability of the global economic upswing.